Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Today we're working on pages 26 and 27. This is the fifth session of work on this page, or pages on these pages. Um, we are actually in the process of working on the Drow Paladin at the moment, and we're going to try to get through as many of these characters as we can today. So let me jump over to the stream panel, and I have my Drow Paladin reference pulled up here on the side, and we are over here. Oops. Let's see, where are we? We are here working on the Drow Paladin in this particular scene. So I've been working on her a little bit today, and we're going to go ahead and start with her knee pads down here. I've gone through most of her other armor. I still need to do some of her hair, maybe some work on her face. But let's see. I'll just go right in here. And yeah, we're coming out on there just fine. That's actually a little bit small. Let's make it bigger. That's about a little bit better. So this is a 2-page spread of its pages 26 and 27 of the coloring book, and we're in the middle of an epic battle with the good guys and the bad guys. And let's see. So some of the bad guys. There's a wizard, a goblin wizard, who is summoning skeletons and undead in this battle. So while these main characters are all fighting each other, there are also some undead. We've got a cleric on the good side that's trying to wipe them all out. And in the last page, there was the good wizard. He was using fireballs well, fire magic, not necessarily fireballs, but he was using fire to annihilate them the best he could. But they just keep coming. And this Drow Paladin is actually she's taken a hit from the Tiefling Paladin, and the Tiefling Paladin is on the bad guy side in this particular thing. But the Tiefling Paladin uses like a big, like a quarterstaff, but it has two giant spiked balls at either end of it. So this is the knee pad, and then let me zoom in here a little bit. So I actually have a couple of little rings of armor behind the knee pad as well. Put these right here. And just clear that out. Oops. Slid my tablet. There we go. And then we've got the boot that comes in right about here. It swoops down and is partly covered by the knee pad right there. So, let's see. I did say that this is pages 26 and 27 of the coloring book. The coloring book is going to be 32 pages long. And what I'm doing right now is essentially the pencil sketch for this page. And later on, I'm going to be coming back through and doing the inks. I stopped inking at page 20. Uh, trying to get through all these sketches before going and doing that step. Let's see, third one right here. This one is much smaller. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that Goblin Barbarian so that we're not having to look through his head to see what's going on here. And let's see, it looks like I cut her foot in just a little too early. We're going to go ahead and bring that in there. Alright, this foot's a little bit tricky because it is at an angle. Let's clear that out. You might see some of it there, but it's gonna be, I think, I want this raised bit to be more like right here. So she has these pointy armored boots. Well, they are essentially armor. I believe they're called subatons. When you have the armor that comes out along your entire boot. And let's see, it has a ring right here. And then another one like right here. And the final one, well, it would be right up here. Okay. All right, actually, I think this one should be a little bit more, or, well, less of a ring, more following the shape of the foot a little bit here. And it still looks pretty much like a ring. We want to kind of elongate that a bit. Without losing all the shape here. Okay. And then the toe is, I think, too pointy, or like too upwardly, or curved upward. That's what I'm trying to say. I have not yet mastered the art of drawing and talking at the same time. I'm working on it. Okay. Now, on the outside, well, she's got a strap that, what have I done with this strap? Yeah, I've got a ring on the inside of her foot here. Make it about that big. And then there is a leather strap that's running across here and holds her spurs. So we will clear the details out of that strap. I'm going to have to clean up that line a little bit. just about like that. Bring another bit of a strap on the other side. And just kind of, oh, I'm on the button. All right. We'll go ahead and work on, actually, yeah, that looks goofy as hell, doesn't it? I'm not happy with that. Let's try bringing this down more. Maintain some of that thickness to the foot. It's a little bit better. And do the same thing here with that ring. And I think that'll be okay, but it still feels like we need to get some of the back of her foot in here. Bring it in just like that. Now I'm going to start on this knee pad. I'm just going to go ahead and clear out the interior of the form. And I'll be putting the sword over the top of everything. Which right now it's just that weird shape. I did use the line tool to kind of set markers for where it goes. Alright, here is where we want the circle of the sun emblem to be. And I'd like to draw that little bit of a circle around it because I want to have these rays not actually touch that central sphere. Okay, then there's this right here. The bottom ray coming out. And that one there. And I'm going to extend this one just a little bit. And maybe, see, I don't want that ray to actually touch the edge. I just want it to be kind of close. All right. Now, put the trim on it. Now this center ridge here on the side, that actually does go all the way to the end and becomes part of the trim. Same thing happens up here at the top with the top one and again at the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to put in those two little pieces of armor right there. Just that's it. Just adjust those in there. And now we're coming down the boot. So let's see. Top piece should be like probably right about here. Second one right about here. Third one right here. And that comes down to where the spur would be. And on the outside, is where the spur is, the outer ankle. And I'm putting these in just like so. And it is a bit messy right here at the moment. Let me get my eraser in here and clear these shapes out. All right. So I have talked about these characters a little bit over the last few pages while I'm drawing, and this Drow Paladin is one of the good characters, which when I initially created her, I was doing just drawings, doing a single illustration for my Patreon, just creating Dungeons and Dragons type characters that uh, didn't really match the norm or the normal role of the lore. And that's not just in 5e, it's like going back to as far as I think second edition, which is when I started playing. And so like Drow were always the dark evil elves, and I decided to make mine a good character. So she has like devoted herself to some order of the sun and is out and about in her, well, I imagine it as golden armor, but it's a coloring book, so the character could be whatever colors somebody wanted to make them. But it was kind of my thing to make just whatever unusual or off the wall characters I could think of. So I made this Drow Paladin. I did my Gnome Barbarian, which you can just barely see him over here under or to the left of the screen. We'll probably take a look at him here in a little bit, but he's just a tiny little gnome, 4 heads tall, and but unlike most gnomes, he is super muscular, and he wields a great sword, not like a gnome-sized great sword either. It's more like a human-sized great sword. It was one of those. It was one of those things that I found amusing at the time, and I went with it. And let's see here. All right, so we've got boots, we've got knee pads, leg armor. I've got her torso in, all this armor. Time to go to the sword. So the sword has a long hilt. It can be held with 2 hands. So we're gonna put the hilt of it. Oh, let's see. Actually, that might be a little far back. Let's go to about right here. That's gonna be where the ring is that holds the pommel on. Now, let's see. It's a braided handle or wrapped handle. Oh, her armor there. She has a hand plate that comes out and covers most of her knuckles. Oh, it sounds like my wife is up. She'll probably be running through here any moment. Alright, I'm going to erase these lines out of the handle so that it's not all cluttered back there. And put in some lines to suggest the wrap. Now her crosspiece starts out with a round disc, kind of like a suba on a what do you call it? A katana, or yeah, like a katana, Japanese sword. And that's going to cover some of her hand. It's just a somewhat thick round disc. Given the perspective, I think we're going to see some of the side of it. And should clean this out a bit more. Oh, okay, it's curving a little funny in perspective here. Okay, so I need to maybe knock it down a little bit back there. At the moment, I'm seeing through it and trying to get that form to look about right. Okay, but then above that is where the main cross piece sits. That's going to come in right here. That comes out pretty wide. It is held by a central piece of metal with like a gem, or yeah, I would say that's supposed to be a gem. But we've got this going on right here, and then it's literally like the rays of the sun coming out of here. So let's see. I'm just going to draw some quick lines. Right, and the central one is like right here. Okay. So we will carry this out. Bring it to there. I'm try to make sure I keep it level or even from one side to the other. And there's this. And I need to clear out all the sketchiness here so I can see what I've actually drawn. Okay, it's a little bit off. It needs to be more like in there. And oh yeah, and I'm coming right into that. So let's try bringing this together a little bit better. A little bit more like that. Oh, I am on that button again. There we go. And then the blade itself, let me go back to the main thing. So as you can see, the blade is kind of narrow. So this is not uh, like a full-on heavy greatsword that you might see most of your like really big barbarians wielding. This one is a little bit more delicate. And I think, yeah, I'm going to have to straighten that out some more. It is still not very good looking up there at that cross piece. Let me just kind of clean this stuff up a bit. Yeah, so I've got it kind of cranking way out over on that side, and at, yeah, like all the angles aren't matching up here. Let's try this. Yeah, that's still a little bit off. But we will get it. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. And then I had that angle, but that angle looks like it doesn't work right with the rest of what I'm trying to do here. Let's try this instead. That might be why I was having so much trouble with the Subaton part. It's because all my angles were a little off. Okay. That's a little bit better, I think. And then this is just going to go all the way to the bottom. And maybe we'll just clean up that edge a little bit more. Still looks a little off to me. In fact, it looks like it's not at the same angle as the blade. Let me see if I can select this and just tweak it a little bit to get it where I want it to be. We'll keep the center like right here. Okay. I think we're just about there. Maybe like right here, and then tweak that centerpiece. A little bit more. I feel like that's the right angle. Is it? I feel like that is the right angle, but then, yeah, my centerpiece is completely wrong. All right. So let's try adjusting. Okay. That's much better. Okay. It's not perfect, but it is much better. Now, the other thing that's going on here is the way that this is starting out later. And then we need to come into all right. And of course, then this guy is a little bit off. Okay. I think that's going to be good enough for now. I'll probably have to tweak it just a little bit more when I go to the inking stage. I'm going to put that central line in here. And back here, we have the same general thing. Now I'm going to do this a little bit differently. So I'm going to put like a large circle back here. And I'm going to put the sun thingy in the center of that. And then let me just kind of draw in my X, this piece, and this piece. Okay. So this rear spike, it really goes out there. And then these, not so much. Yeah, he needs to be in here a little bit closer. These side ones, they kind of travel a little further than those littler ones, but not nearly as far as that bottom one, which is technically at the top in this pose. I mean, it's still the bottom of the sword, but okay. And given the design, the sword itself would be a very long ray. Okay, and we don't need to keep that circle. That was just to make sure these all have that thickness. And let's see here. Oh, okay. Let me check my other drawings. So I tend to give it. Okay. I am giving it way too much of a like a peg here that it is attached to. So we need to just move this in a good bit more. Something like that. And because of that, I wonder if maybe I should make my circle piece just a little bit bigger. A little bit more prominent back there. There we go. Deepen this up just a little bit here. Maybe throw a couple of lines across the blade. And now to do her hair and her face. So let's see. If we're keeping this character as a drow, the drow have typically white hair. It's actually typically straight hair. Um, but I decided to give this one curly hair. Let's see here. I'm just trying to tweak that sun emblem a little bit on her chest. Maybe go ahead and clear that up there. And yeah, so she does have like white eyebrows, or eyebrows you could color, and they are thinner at the beginning and thicker at the end. But then her hair is also kind of covering that, so we'll see how much of that I want to leave in. Let me bring this hair in just like this. And I'm gonna clear out the strand. I'm gonna bring some more in. Now this is gonna come right into the eyebrow area. And then I have more hair coming over here that's going back behind her ear. So let me clean this area out. I'm going to get rid of that. I think I went a little crazy with my initial sketch strands and was having them come all the way across her eye. And she does have a little bit of hair right here that kind of just wraps around the front of her ear. And we might go ahead and bring some in right there, just to kind of keep the form going. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to put a bit here. So she has been like knocked back and her hair's kind of going wild as she's basically in motion here. Um, I don't like that either. Let me go ahead and clear this area out. How do I want to handle this part? Let's maybe bring it like so. I don't want that there like that. I think I want to maintain the spike in that shoulder pad, not have it covered by anything. And I don't like putting too many spikes in her hair back there. Let's just shape it down like this, but then maybe bring a little bit of a curl in right here. Maybe carry that right through into that other one. And we've got this form, which is coming, it's a little bit solid. We don't really maybe want it to be that solid. Kind of break these up a little bit more. And then back there. And this is her ear. We'll go ahead and darken that in along the back edge. It's really like her hair just got all out of control right there is what it's kind of feeling like. And I think maybe I need to simplify a little bit. We'll take that out. Go ahead and carry that through there. And then let's see. Just kind of like bring it all together right here, I think. Okay. And then this smaller section here. Curve it like that. So I have some hair coming down in between her shoulder pad, and some coming around the back, and I don't like this particular piece right here. It's a little too crazy. But I do have her hair coming across that sun emblem. So let's go ahead and maybe just maintain that flow right there. Just like that. And maybe add a little bit more back here. And break that up just a touch so that we maintain some flow. Alright. I had some scribbles of hair over here that I don't like at all. And let's see. Oh, I have not put in the bandana yet that she wears around her neck. That would be like right here. And I'm going to have it actually come in like that. And it's up here. And just drape this in here a little bit. Okay. And then we'll add a little piece of trim right there. And some more of the chainmail there. And maybe just darken this up a little bit. I'm just trying to kind of fine tune everything now. But I think it looks pretty good. I don't think I want to put that line in there. Okay. Is there anything else that I missed on here? I think that's it. So now we have the Drow Paladin. Um, Behind her, I have my Human Barbarian, who I think I'm going to rearrange a little bit. But we need to do the Tiefling Paladin. So let me go ahead and turn those two off. And we'll work on this Tiefling Paladin. And I'm going to turn off my fighter, my dwarf fighter, so he's not in the way. Alright, Tiefling Paladin. Your leg is coming back down like this. And I think her foot is like right there. Okay, got the spiked balls. She is about 6 heads tall. We've got her tail back here. She's not doing anything exciting with her tail, but that's okay. Oh, and we're gonna close the paladin, that paladin down. We're gonna open up the Tiefling Paladin. There we go. Now I've got my reference for her. And of course, like most of my other characters, I started out with the one drawing here, the big drawing. And that was just my concept drawing for her. And then the rest of these drawings on the page are from the coloring book, where I've, basically referenced that, made little changes, and just kind of continued going on. So let's get zoomed in here. And these lines that I was using, apparently I had the stroke set to the outside of the line, so they're like hollow tubes. They look really weird. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that center line. That would at least help a little bit. And I did use shapes for the circles on this one. Usually I just freehand the, what do you call it, the spheres in, but I wanted them to be pretty accurate this time. Wow, that was a fat drag. I wonder if that was like lag. I don't know. Her mouth is a little close to her nose. Let's see. Maybe that's okay. And if I have to, I'll fine tune it a little bit later. Now, my paladin has, well, the Tiefling Paladin, she has pointy ears as well. Most of these characters that are not human have pointy ears to some degree or another. And we'll put it right here. Now her pointy ears are smaller, a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, and I think they kind of shoot in and then flare down. Something like that. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of shape her eyes in. And just kind of work my way through the face right here without getting too detailed just yet. I want to get the approximate shape that I want for her face. Okay. Now, one thing is that she's going to have sort of a prominent ridge, uh, eyebrow ridge, because she has these horns that come up out of her eyebrows. But let's see, so her eyebrows would come out pretty much about like this, and then as you come to the side, they would become prominent, and they should be up here above her eyes. And I'm just kind of working this shape in. Alright, but I do want her chin to come in, be just a delicate little chin. So I think what's going on here is I need my center line to be a little bit more like that. And her nose would be right about here. Okay. Just kind of trying to work her features in with contrast here at first, and then maybe clear out some of that contrast as I go. So open up her lips a little bit to have something that could be colored. And get these strokes to look pretty good. Be back in just 1 second. Okay, we are back. My wife just came through, and she does not like it when I put her on camera. So, would had to cut to the be right back screen for a second there. All right. Let's see. Get her head put in here. Make it look a little bit less weird. The way that the back of her head was like elongated there. Okay. So she's got some cheekbones that show here. Come down at a little bit of an angle. Her eyebrows are pretty much the same size all the way through. And then her eyes are darkly outlined, but left white inside. Okay. So I might need to just kind of open that up a little bit. And then we'll bring her horns in, which curve back around her head. And they are like ram's horns. And I actually like to wrap them up right back here before her ear. So they're not too big. Alright. And of course, they have to be getting slightly thinner as they go along. And I made that part like really thick. So we can get rid of that. And then on the other side, you might see the horn right there coming over there, but her form is about like that. Okay, and then she has curly hair, which is actually, it grows behind her horns there. So you're going to have hair right there too. And I'm just going to generally shape this for now. So it's kind of like there. It's very curly, and it pretty much ends at shoulder length. So I'll just kind of shape it in like that. Okay. Now she's got full-on plate armor, with all these crazy spikes and blades and stuff on them. But let's start with her neck piece here. So her what do you call it? Like a cuirass has this neck collar bit, which actually should be down a little bit lower than that. So it should actually probably cut down to about here, because it does not rise up along her neck like that. Let's go ahead and cut that out of there. And I'll get rid of that line too. But it rides a little bit lower. And then she has chainmail that she's wearing underneath of it. So we'll try to kind of work like this. And it's kind of like a sharp point right there at the front. Oh, got a bug. And let's see, then the chainmail is just like right about here. And I'll just tone that in a little bit with some circles. And let's see here. So her cuirass has armholes that come around. Then she has shoulder pads that, let's see, the shape of them, this arm being up, her shoulder pads would be like right here. It's got some size to it there. Oh, Apparently I missed that bug a second ago, and he's gonna just keep circling over here until I get him, probably. And let's see. This shoulder pad should have some upward crank to it there. Tilt. And let's see. So then this should also have some tilt to it. And cut down like that. But that's going to be way too much because that's like leaving that whole joint exposed. So we're going to bring this in a little bit further here, like back where I was, and try to maintain the curvature of it here. And bring this in like right here. It should be a little bit better. Okay, now this has a little bit of a round or a rolled edge to it as it goes around. Bring it up here so it has a little bit of height to it. And then we've got that blade part that's in it. So we're going to put that right about here and shape it about like that. Then the center of it has that main spike. And there are two other spikes that come off of it about like that. It's kind of like if you had like a saw blade stuck out of your shoulder pad, I guess. Not exactly, but that's about the best way to describe it. Okay, we can go ahead and do the other shoulder pad over here. We're going to put it right up against her armor. Drop it in like that. Arc it down. And curve around. And it actually ought to be a little bit more curved, I think, there. I think that's good. Okay. Now we'll put that trim on here too. And round that off. And then I'm going to do the blade over here. Right about here. Thought I felt somebody touching me on the shoulder. It was kind of weird. Alright, so that's the blades on that side. And we've got about an hour to go on this stream. I think we're making pretty good progress today. So far, I've been working kind of slow. Which has been a little bit disappointing. So I wanted to get this whole book done in time for Christmas, like where I could get it printed out and send some copies out to friends and whatnot, and maybe even put it up for sale in my Etsy store. But It's been going so slow that I don't think I'm going to make it in time for that. Okay, so she has sort of like boob plate on this thing, which some people hate. Let's see here. And I'm only going to partially shape that. Okay. Yeah, not that one. Not that spot. Let me do this. Just kind of make it a little bit more intense of a line there. Now her armor comes down, and right about here is where the chest piece ends, and it becomes sort of like a flaring skirt design. Now it comes down 3 pieces to, let's see, right about here. And then it actually comes in, should be tucked in a little bit. And actually, and then comes to here, and that's flared out as well. And this part over here is getting a little out of hand, I think. So I think I need to trim this down a bit. Wrap that one there, and then bring it over. So let's see, this is 3 pieces you got. I think I might actually need to widen that up just a little bit. Here we've got 2 good pieces. And maybe the third one is actually up above here. So we'll just leave it be. And, oh, well, this should curve a little bit more right here. It was going a little flat. And this is the tucked in part right here. So let's go ahead and maintain. Well, it can kind of rotate, but then the center would be there. Alright, so I've got 2 more pieces, and they're flaring out from that one. So here's this one. And this one should be maybe like that. I gotta try not to taper it though, because this piece is on top. It needs to stay the same size all the way. It can't be like tucked into anything. Okay, but it could be covering that other part that is tucked in. Now the final piece, it's on top of that one, like right here. Bring that into there and get rid of this. And then bring it across here and just try to maintain that same size again. There we go. And of course, this is the center line. We'll go ahead and drag in some overlap stuff and try to make it a little bit obvious. That one is recessed, so it should be darker than everything else. And there we go. But I don't want to put a whole lot of lighting information on the armor because it is a coloring book, and I want the person coloring the page to be able to kind of like light it however they want, you know, using color and thinking about things. So I do put some lighting stuff in here, but not a lot, specifically for that reason. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip her leather parts for now. We're going to go right to her thighs with the armor. She actually has 2 armor plates. And so, let's see, they come in like right up here. And they spike. Well, they don't really spike, but they're designed to be flared up right there along the what do you want to call it? The front most part of her leg. All right. So there's that. And I wanted to make sure I could get those in there before I did all those leather tassels, which in the original drawing they're like really big, but I've made them a lot smaller. I made them kind of flap around a lot more in the other drawings. Now, these come down to her knee pads, which are, they actually wrap all the way around. And they have sort of like some trim here. Actually, yeah, I really changed the design of that. Okay, let me get rid of that. So they are built up to about there. They come back. They should be about even, I would think. Something like this. And we'll just go ahead and put one on each leg. And we're going to be seeing the main part over here. You might kind of see that back part on that one a little bit. Alrighty. I'm just going to go ahead and shape most of this stuff in real quick. So her boots are leather fold-over boots, and they are a little bit below where her knee pads are. And let's see, they are kind of tight at the top, and they flare out just a little bit and come across. Same thing over here. I can get rid of the leg lines inside those flares. Then most of your leather fold-over boots, they actually would come up above the knee if you stretched them all the way, so they tend to have a lot of wrinkles and stuff as they come down around your ankles. And hers actually have some heels on them. Not much of a heel, it's a fairly short one. And then they come out to pointy toes. But let's see, something like this. Okay. All right. Okie dokie. So we got this going on. Let's see. I think this knee pad has gotten a little carried away. That leg is moving back in space just a little bit. And so I think I've kind of expanded that just a little too much. So kind of want to shorten that up. And let's see, what else do we need to do? Okay. So I took out that layered armor piece that was in her knee pads. You can see, like her legs here, and those are covered in chainmail. And okay, let's go ahead and do these knee pads. First of all, I'm going to put, they have those spike or blade things to them. So main center spike there, side spike here, another one over there. This one, let's see, I might curve it kind of like this and put that center spike right there, put that there and that there. And this may not have quite as much curve in it as we want. Put a little bit more to it and maybe curve that outward a little bit more there. All right. So let's see here. Um, hmm. Need to put the trim on these. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that along the outside here. And right, I was gonna put that backside on there, but, well, I still can, I guess. I'll just do a little bit like right there. Clean out my lines a little bit. there's that. And there's that. Alrighty. So we're getting through this character. Still got a ways to go, but it's not bad. It's coming along. And let's see, it's 3:16, so we got about 45 minutes left. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take like a 10-minute break or about that much, and then come back for the last 30 minutes. So I'm gonna jump over to the be right back, and we'll be back shortly.